The Beckham family is falling apart, and everyone is pointing fingers at one person, Nicola Peltz. But here's what nobody is talking about. There's a billionaire father behind the scenes who might be pulling all the strings. We're talking about a man worth almost $2 billion, who reportedly told the Beckhams he gives his daughter $1 million monthly allowance and asked why they don't do the same for Brooklyn. Yeah, this family drama goes way deeper than a wedding dress, and I'm about to break down everything. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button because we are diving deep into one of the messiest celebrity family feuds I have ever seen. So the Beckham versus Peltz drama has been brewing for years, but it just exploded in the most public way possible. Brooklyn Beckham posted a 6-page statement dragging his own parents. The family has blocked each other on social media, and everyone wants to know what is really going on. Most people blame Nicola Peltz. They say she turned Brooklyn against his family. But I think the real story involves her father, Nelson Peltz, and the massive power and money imbalance between these two families. Let's get into all of it. To understand this feud, we have to go back to April 2022, when Brooklyn and Nicola got married. And let me tell you, this wedding was a mess from the very beginning. Brooklyn Beckham married Nicola Peltz, daughter of billionaire investor Nelson Peltz and former model Claudia Hefner Peltz, in a 3-day wedding extravaganza at the Peltz family's Palm Beach estate. With 500 guests, oceanfront views, and a parade of couture, it was the kind of opulent style spectacle you'd expect from fashion royalty. Now, here's where the drama starts. The dress situation. Everyone expected Nicola to wear a Victoria Beckham-designed gown. I mean, your mother-in-law is literally a fashion designer. It seems like a no-brainer, right? But for her nuptials, Nicola opted not to wear a Victoria Beckham-designed wedding gown, later explaining the atelier couldn't complete it in time. Still, the snub was hard to ignore. Brooklyn later gave his side of the story, claiming his fashion designer mother had tried to derail his wedding, pulling out of making Nicola's dress in the 11th hour, despite how excited she was to wear her design, forcing her to urgently find a new dress. So we have two completely different versions of events. Either Victoria's team couldn't get it done in time, or Victoria pulled out at the last minute to sabotage things. The truth is probably somewhere in the middle, but this was just the beginning of the problems. And some other moments from the wedding, which outsiders have interpreted as digs, include the fact Nicola repurposed her mother's wedding dress to wear on the day. So she wore her own mother's dress instead of anything from Victoria. That had to sting. But the dress wasn't even the biggest drama from the wedding. Let's talk about the first dance, because this is where things got really uncomfortable. Brooklyn claimed in his statement that his mom hijacked his first dance with his wife, which had been planned weeks in advance, to a romantic love song. And it gets worse. Mark Anthony, who is a friend of the Beckhams, offered to perform as a gift at the wedding. Before the song began, Mark Anthony asked Brooklyn to come to the stage and then announced, "The most beautiful woman in the room tonight, come on up, Victoria Beckham." Can you imagine? It's supposed to be the bride's moment, the first dance between the newlyweds. And suddenly, Victoria is being called up as the most beautiful woman in the room? Nicola ran from the room crying. Nicola felt like Victoria did this on purpose when she knew it was a pre-planned romantic dance meant for Brooklyn and Nicola. Now, I don't know if Victoria orchestrated this or if Mark Anthony just made a really bad call. But either way, the damage was done. On what should have been the happiest day of her life, Nicola was in tears and feeling upstaged by her mother-in-law. And there was also drama about the seating. During the wedding planning, Brooklyn's mom went so far as to call him evil because Nicola and he chose to include his nanny Sandra and Nicola's grandmother at their table. She called her own son evil over seating arrangements. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, Nelson Peltz, because I think he's a huge part of why this feud has gotten so out of control. Nelson Peltz, Nicola's beloved father, is an ultra-conservative billionaire who introduced Donald Trump and Elon Musk and tried to launch a hostile takeover of Disney. This is not just some rich guy. This is a man who moves in the most powerful circles in the world. He's connected to Trump. He's connected to Elon Musk. He tried to take over Disney. The Beckhams are wealthy and famous, but the Peltzes operate on a completely different level. The ongoing feud between the Beckham family and Brooklyn might come down to a major financial issue. David and Victoria Beckham are worth a collective $550 million, but that pales in comparison to the staggering fortune of the Peltz family. Nicola's father, Nelson Peltz, is worth $1.8 billion, so the Beckhams are worth $500 million. Nelson Peltz alone is worth almost $2 billion. That's a massive power imbalance. And here's where it gets really interesting. According to British journalist Marina Hyde, Nelson reportedly said to the Beckhams, "I give my daughter $1 million a month allowance. Why don't you?" $1 million a month. That's $12 million a year just in allowance. And apparently, Nelson was questioning why the Beckhams don't support Brooklyn the same way. The Peltz and Beckham families have two very different perspectives on money and supporting their children. A source said Nelson was disappointed that David and Victoria did not support their eldest son more. So you have Nelson Peltz essentially looking down on how the Beckhams parent their son. And when a billionaire starts questioning your parenting and your financial support, that's going to create tension. After the wedding, things just kept getting worse. Let me walk you through the major moments. In a cover interview, Nicola made a few choice comments that appeared to distance her and Brooklyn from the Beckhams. For one, she said she'd never live in London, where Brooklyn is from and where his family resides. She also said that Brooklyn often asks her father, Nelson Peltz, for business advice. Some interpreted this as another diss towards the Beckhams, who all have their own business ventures. Then, in July, Brooklyn unveiled a sizable tattoo reading Peltz sprawled across his chest. Given this was amid peak feud rumors, fans took the opportunity to pounce on this proud association with the Peltz family. Nicola only fueled this fire when she shared a photo of the tattoo with the comment, "I'm so happy you're a Peltz." So Brooklyn is literally getting his wife's family name tattooed on his chest, and Nicola is publicly celebrating that he's a Peltz, not a Beckham, a Peltz. Then came David's 50th birthday in May 2025. Brooklyn and Nicola were notably absent from the festivities. Brooklyn later claimed they still traveled to London for his dad's birthday and were rejected for a week as they waited in their hotel room trying to plan quality time with him. He refused all of their attempts unless it was at his big birthday party with 100 guests and cameras at every corner. When he finally agreed to see him, it was under the condition that Nicola wasn't invited. In August 2025, Brooklyn and Nicola renewed their wedding vows, and this is where things really fell apart. Seeing Nelson having such a pivotal role at the ceremony was heartbreaking for David, especially. Not one member of the 30-plus extended family knew about the wedding or were invited. They had a whole second wedding and didn't invite a single Beckham. Not David, not Victoria, not Brooklyn's brothers or sister, nobody. But Nelson Peltz was front and center. She is why they had a second wedding in August, with not a single Beckham present. Brooklyn had blocked his entire family, his parents, his brothers, his sister, all of them blocked on social media. In January 2026, Brooklyn finally went public with everything. He posted a 6-page statement on Instagram that shook the internet. Brooklyn said for years he had made every effort to keep the matter private, but he now had no choice but to tell the truth about only some of the lies that have been published. He said his parents had been trying endlessly to ruin my relationship since before my wedding and had pressured him to sign away the rights to his name, a step he had refused. Is Nelson Peltz pulling the strings, or is he just a protective father? And will the Beckhams ever get their son back? I genuinely want to know what you think about this whole mess. Drop your thoughts in the comments because this story has so many layers and I want to hear every perspective. Make sure you hit that like button if you enjoyed this breakdown and subscribe for more celebrity drama. Because with these two families, you know there's more tea coming.